Just let me know in the chat if you can see me. Before I start, there is a couple of early people in the chat. So I've got, sorry, I'm not looking at the camera there. I've just thrown a glorious 180, so I'm really in the zone. So, got a question in the chat from someone called Stuart Clark.
It is getting harder to talk about.
And he has asked when it comes up, because I've just had to view an ad. Oh, I'm not used to this. I do apologise. So Stuart has asked me which console, when it loads, which is my favourite console from within the last 30 years. I would say, Stuart Clark, that my favourite console within the last 30 years is the Super Nintendo. Absolutely brilliant. Doesn't come any better than that console. Right, a few prerequisites before I begin. This is completely unedited. I'll try not to swear, but if I do apologise in advance. The chances are I probably won't. So, just run you through a few hidden away bits that are behind this wonderful box here before I get started. So I've got tools. Poundland screwdriver. Love this thing. Cost me £1 and I've got a heck of a lot of use out of it, and it just keeps getting better and better with every use. Stanley knife. Don't try this at home. That kind of thing. Got another question in the chat. I'll come to you in a moment. Tommy Tallow. And we've got a Stanley screwdriver for when the Poundland fails. This is a really good one and good for using on the case, which we'll take a look at eventually. What else have I got behind here? Oh, what's this? Aha! I did tell you I would have a few beers while I did this, so I've got myself a 4-pack of light beer, just to play it safe. And, of course, a glass for the said beer. So what I will do first, before I begin the build, is just pour myself a brew. Realise I normally go for the Yorkshire tea, but under these circumstances, I'm going to go for the Bud Light. So I've just got a question in the chat from Tommy Tallow. What darts do you use? Honestly, Tommy, I can't actually remember. But I think they came with a dartboard, so they're just a cheap set of darts, really. Put them back in 180. Just like to point out that that is not at all fake. Right, as you can see, not very good at pouring a beer. Let's hope my PC building skills are a little bit better. I'll just get that out of the way for the time being. And we'll take a look at what we have got. We have got the case, which, the way I build PCs, I tend to get the case out of the way last. So I'm just going to move it to one side and I will put all the rest together and we'll throw it in the case at the end. The components, if you saw my previous video, you will know what is coming here. If you didn't, I'll run you through. So we've got an Intel Celeron G5900, which is a dual core processor running at 3.4 gigahertz. Literally the cheapest processor you can buy at the moment. And then we have some Lexar DDR4 3200 megahertz. Got 8 gig for that. Did consider going to 16, but there's really no point whatsoever. Got Craig Williams in the chat. Hello, Thommo. Hello, Craig. Nice to have you joining in. I hope you enjoy this. What's going to be a bit of a disaster zone of a PC build, but we'll see. Got Transcend 128 gigabytes. I can't remember what this is. So it's an SSD, an NVMe SSD, and it's PCIe 3. So it should be fairly fast. And then we've got sort of the brains of the build. So we've got a Gigabyte H410MH motherboard. So that's it in brief. First things first. Let's take a look at that motherboard. Now, I am a one-man band, so if I change scenes, you're going to get a slight delay while I mess about with the mouse. Oh, there we go. So slightly different shot. Hello everyone. Just going to open the motherboard really. I'll just get these out of the way a little bit and we'll see what we've got. So, the classic, we have got this, which is the rear plate, which goes in the case and means that, well, dust can't get in between the I/O on the back. And then we've got a packet here with two. Right, okay. Yeah, so these are for using a more traditional hard drive. Not going to need those because I'm going to be using the NVMe drive. You're going very quiet in the chat. Keep chatting. It helps with the algorithm. Thank you very much. And then we've got the beast, the motherboard, which I'll just take out the box and put there for a moment. Just going to have a look what else we've got in the box. Got a multilingual installation guide, and we've got a user manual, which is very basic. It's only a few pages. Probably not going to need that. And finally so just some precautions to take before installation. Looks like we've got George Holmes in the chat there saying loot. Hello George, how are you doing? Finally in the box for that we've got this, which is a driver CD, which again probably won't need, but got it anyway. So it's actually crazy in my opinion that we still get CDs, that kind of thing with motherboards. Just seems a bit daft. So all we really need out of that box is the motherboard itself and the backplate. We'll just run you through the specs just as a reminder. So this motherboard is the latest Intel platform. So it's the 10th gen Intel core processors, LGA 1200 CPU socket. The chipset's the H410, which was kind of given away by its name. And it has one PCIe 3.0 16 lane, HDMI output and D-sub, which you will need a processor with built-in graphics to take advantage of that. We've got here with the Celeron. Got some more. I've got Laird Neil Byfleet in the chat. Yeah, all right, buddy. Long time he's been following the channel. Get yourself on YouTube. You might get a better picture quality, dude. George Holmes simply loves arguing me. That's a bit of a private joke. I won't explain, but never mind. So we've got the motherboard. I was mid-specs, wasn't I? So we've got dual channel DDR4, 2 DIMM slots, 2 PCIe E 3.0 times 1 lanes, 4 SATA and 1 M.2 SSD slot, so we're going to use that. Got Gigabyte gaming LAN. I don't know why they have to stick gaming on everything. CD equals drinks coaster. Absolutely right, Tommy. Definitely. We've got 4 USB 3.2 ports and 6 USB 2 ports. 8 channel audio. Very nice. Got a form factor of M80X, so it's fairly small. There's a load of stuff on there. You can Google the motherboard if you really want. A lot of it's just marketing stuff. So we'll put that out of the way, that box, and we'll check on my beer that's now seemingly settled a little bit. Just going to fill it up to the top and then probably have a swig. What's everyone else drinking if you're over 18? Or 18 or over in this country. 21 in America, I think. I don't actually know. What I'm going to do, I want someone to keep tally of how many points I score. And I chuck stuff in cardboard box over there. Or I'll just change scenes, you can't even see that. Bear with. That box over there, you ready? First can. 10 points I'm hoping. There we go. Easy. Right. Going back to the zoomed in scene. Here we go. Right, got my beer. Got my motherboard. Got my backplate. Let's open up the motherboard. No tools required for this. So let's pull it out and look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. Just, oh, I got everything muddled up there. There we go. So very nice motherboard. Got that there to protect the pins where it goes. I love the, I don't know if it's coming out on the camera, but lovely shades of grey. Not like 50 shades of grey, but looks fantastic, this motherboard. Very nice. Be good for a build with a window on the side of the case, which mine doesn't have. Just going to pop this to one side. I'm just going to open up the back plate. Okay, job done. We've got the motherboard ready. Next, I'm going to put the processor in. So as I've already said, 3.4 gigahertz dual core, 2 megabytes of cache. Going to use the knife on this one. Nothing too dangerous, but there we go, lovely stuff. That's fairly straightforward. Just open up the box, see what we've got inside. I'm hoping there's a cooler. There used to be with these OEM purchases. Just remember, this is a 30 quid brand new processor, which is pretty phenomenal, to be honest with you. That you can actually buy tech like this for that price. So quite a bit of a pain to undo these. So we have the stock cooler, the stock Intel cooler, which will be more than enough for this build, and we've got pre-applied thermal paste. Just going to save a bit of money on a cheap build. I quite like it how Intel do that. I've not really done much with AMD processors recently, so I don't actually know if they also do the same. And there it is, the actual brains of the build. So we're going to install that first. Box out the way. There we go. I'm not throwing the boxes in the bin. That's why I'm not trying to score points doing that. Okay, very quiet in the chat again. Anyone still here? I think I can tell on the screen, but you're very quiet. So I'll just leave that in. First thing we're going to do is take off this protector. We'll push down on this clasp and it'll flip up like so. And with a little bit of a pull, off it comes. And now the pins, as you can see there, are unprotected, which is fine. Just we're not going to drop anything on them, I don't think. So just lift that back up and we're ready to take the processor out. Here we go. I remember the pins used to be on the processors, so your most expensive component, usually your most expensive component, not in this case, would be susceptible to damage. Absolutely ridiculous. So what you will see there is a couple of notches out on the side of the processor, and I'll just pop that on there. And look at the motherboard, you will see the notches match up either side there, so we know which way to put it in. So all we do is drop it in the right way on top of the pins, and then drop the clasp back down, and then we just push that on like so. That's now lovely and secure on the motherboard, like so. So now we need to get our stock cooler on there. So I'm just going to take a quick look at the motherboard to find out where the system fan goes. CPU fan even. So it's over here next to the RAM. What I want to do is position this cooler so that that is extremely close. Then we've not got any wires straggled about. So not quite long enough. Just bear with me a moment, so I'll just disconnect that again. Actually, I think it will stretch. We'll try it anyway. Yeah, it will. It'll just go. It'll just reach. Sort of. I'll pull the wire through. But then that's no good. No. Back to the drawing board with this. Just going to take that back out. Take it off the first clip. You will see that that is fairly easy to do. Saying it's easy to do, pull it out and there we go. Got there in the end. So now we've loosened off the fan cable and we now can put it in a lovely suitable position where it will now reach through right to the CPU fan connector. Just connect that up. We'll only go one way because of the pins, and then we'll just push down on all four corners of the CPU cooler. You'll just hear it click. Now if you've made a mistake at this point, what you can actually do is if you unscrew these, you can turn them anti-clockwise, they'll become disconnected. But now we've got our processor on with the CPU fan connected. When we send power through the motherboard, we'll at least have a cool processor. Okay, so that's the processor done. Time for a little sip of the old beer. Fantastic. Just point out, this is not a wise idea. I would never recommend having your beer so close to equipment like this, but it is what it is. Been doing this a long time. So I think now we can either, we've got a bit of a choice really, we can either put the storage in or the RAM. I'll give you 30 seconds to put in the chat which one you prefer. Storage or RAM. There's no suitable voting system in here, so you'll just have to put it in right in the comments. Or you could not. Tell you what, if no one's chatting in the in there, then I shall just decide myself. We're going to go RAM because it's easier. That was easy. So again, safety knife. Woo. Just got to watch yourself on these. Not that safe. Right. So just open the side of that. Just chuck that all out. So in the box for the RAM, we have a quick installation guide. Really quite simple. Just pop that back in. So look at that. Beautiful. Love how they colour the components now. Tommy Tello. That's a really good bit of advice actually. Motherboard box. While I put the RAM in before I destroy something. So we'll just put it on there just to give it a bit of a cushion. Cheers, man. Craig Williams, RAM. You read my mind. Well played. Here we go. So if you look, usually the RAM slots will have a number. So on this motherboard, pop that back. The top one, don't know if you can see that, but that's DDR1, and the bottom one is DDR2. So what we'll do, put it in slot number 1 because we're only using one stick. Genuinely, don't know if that makes a difference. We're only going one way, so if you look on one side, the notch is further over to one side than the other. So you just match that on the motherboard and just give it a press so it clicks in. And if you look very close there, you'll see that it is now held in place very nicely. So that's the RAM. Wow, getting through this quick. I'm expecting this to take a good few hours, but never mind. Better start drinking quicker. Here we go. The storage. Now, a little bit of a story about this kind of storage. Just change the scene while I explain. The screws that you need for these, you don't get them with the drives and you don't get them with the motherboard, but in this case we've actually got one. So it's not a screw as such, it's more of a clip, and I'm really quite impressed that one has actually come with this. But the only problem I've got is I can't take it out. However, this is really strange actually. So you kind of pull it up. It's like I don't know how you describe that, but it's a plastic thing that will hold your drive in place. So that's the crux of it. But yeah, it's really quite frustrating because you don't always get a screw with either or. So what I'm going to do, just change scenes again, one-man band on my own. As always, just get rid of that. Just going to open this up. These blister packs, there's not much you can do other than rip right through them. You know what that means, don't you? That means I can try and score some points. There we go, 20 points. Fantastic. Similar to the RAM, you can only get this stuff in one way. So the M.2 slot is there. Just try and get some light on it so you can see it. I'll just try and put that in. So just drop it onto the pins. Just drop it on the motherboard like I've done. Just drop it onto the pins, just give it a little bit of a push in, and then apply a tiny bit of downward pressure until it reaches where the clip goes. And then when you've got the clip back in, which is not that straightforward, what you end up with is your lovely fast storage attached to the motherboard, all clipped in, ready to go. So, what have we done so far? Let's have a quick recap. One-man band goes again, changing the scene. So, we've got our motherboard, we've got our RAM, we've got our processor, we've got our processing cooler. Lovely free stock one, not bad for a 30 quid processor. And we've got our cheap but fast storage attached to the motherboard. So you know what that means? You need to put it somewhere. Which means one thing. The beast. Right. I've no idea what this is going to be like. So I'll just flip it round. See what case it is if you want to Google it or anything. It's the First Player A6. Sounds way better than it probably is. But we'll take a look. Remember this processor? What am I on about? This computer build, PC build, was, I think it was about 160 odd quid, so it's really, really dirt cheap. So far, all the components look nice. So just gonna flip this upside down and make sure my beer's out of the way, so that I don't throw it all over everything. Oh, it's not wanting to come out in this. There we go. Oof. Delicious. Shut the box down there. Before I get a static shock, isn't it? Hate static electricity. So, hopefully I won't, but I'm just going to cover my my hands to protect them. Right, here we go. That is now out, and just pull that off. Oh, you can feel the static radiating from it. Nasty stuff. Just chuck that box out of the way, because some stuff I'm going to need later on. Right, just change scenes so you can have a closer look at this. So we'll take a look first at the front. Oh, we've got a peeler. These things are just the best. Here we go, it's coming off slowly. Oh, look at that. So it's actually pulled some part of the case off, but never mind, you get what you pay for, I guess. So the front, what have we got here? We've got a USB 3 port, USB 2 port, a microphone jack, headphone jack, another USB 2 port, some lights. One looks like one's power, one's hard drive, got a reset button. Don't often get those, and a power button. And a shiny 5 1/4 inch thing. Slot for expansion, of course. It's quite a... Oh, it's a big old thing. Nearly as big as me. Got on the sides, nothing that side. That's like the underneath, so you don't usually get out there. On the top. Oh, cheers, Craig. I'm all right, I think. I've not zapped myself, so nothing to worry about. So on the top, we've got lovely 120mm, I'm guessing, case fan area. Bit of bounce to it, but what do you expect at this price? On the back, we've got, I'll get the other way around, I don't, back of the side of interesting. So we've got 500 watt power supply, very springy back to that. It's cheap, but it'll get the job done. And then we've got the area for our back plate, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 expansion bays, but we're not going to use all them from a micro ATX motherboard. And we've got easy screws on the back, so the ones you can use your thumbs and your fingers on. There we go. So now, the challenging bit. Take the back off there. The really challenging bit here is going to be, how am I going to get this motherboard in here whilst at the same time being able to show you guys what I'm doing. I've actually got a screw on the back. I'll just try and show you that. Just a screw down there that's holding a bag of other screws. What I'm going to do is just screw that. I'm assuming that also holds down the back plate, but can't be certain. So, right, it's like threaded under. That screw will go back in if I need it to. But to be honest with you, I'm not going to be expanding this initially. Within the case, we have, so that power supply, a bit more info for you. It says 500 plus, designed by First Player. That's First Player Technology. Guangzhou Co Limited. It's got a fan in it, so that's nice, as in the power supply. So we've got the stuff for the front I/O. Just going to tip it the wrong way up, but this is purely to show you what we can connect. Get it all out. So we've got USB 3. So that connects up to the motherboard, which then enables the USB 3 ports on the front of the case, and the USB 2 as well. That kind of daisy chains off there, so maybe I've really seen that very often. Then we've got another USB for the other USB port, and then the audio, so we can hook up the front of case audio. Then we've got, right, I don't like it when they do this. I prefer when you can just chuck a big chunk of these in. So we've got power switch, reset switch, power LED plus, power LED minus, and HDD LED. Very good. And then we've got all of the power stuff that runs off that. So I'll try and tilt it away so you can see. You are half quiet in the chat, you lot. Flipping heck. So I go live, you get a chance to interact with me live, and what happens? You're all sat there, mesmerised. I'm joking. If you don't want to chat, you don't have to chat. Entirely up to you. Really don't mind. 10 points in the box. If you saw that, get in. Then we've got all the usual. So we've got the connector to the motherboard, power. Got all the SATA power cable, the old style Molex. Is it Molex? Can't remember. You tell me in the chat, you know. Graphics card can go directly into a GPU with power. We've got a good array of stuff. The case itself is, I don't think it's too amazing. There's a few weird manufacturing marks there, which I don't know if you can see, but it looks like a massive, like, something's gouged out of it or something, but never mind. So, this is the bit that takes forever. This is a bit I'm not looking forward to doing. This is where I make mistakes. So, I think Craig's got the right idea. Need some more beer. So we'll have a beer break. What's everyone else drinking at the moment? You're going to tell me energy drinks, aren't you? Because that's what I'd be drinking if I wasn't drinking beer. No, I wouldn't. You know me, I'd be drinking Yorkshire tea. Well, or probably coffee, actually, to be fair. Right, so what I need to do now, before I connect anything up, is just count how many riser screws I need. So I don't even know if they're called that, but the bag of screws here, the golden ones, they basically lift the motherboard off the case. So if I count well, basically how many holes that are exposed on the motherboard, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, that's it. So 6. And then the fun really begins. Craig's on the Daniel T won the war on tea. Cola. Well in, pal. Craig there. He's on the cola. Righto. So get rid of that rubbish. How many did I say? I've forgotten now. Flipping heck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think it was 6, wasn't it? I've lost one. It's fine. It's fine. We don't need it. It's going to be high enough. We've actually got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've got 6 if I need them. So, I found it. 1, 2, 3. Look at that. Look at that. One there. One there. Ridiculous. So what we need to do now is just, well, basically map out where these all go. You just put your motherboard in the case, just flat down on the case. In fact, I'll just change scenes. Oh, we're in double figures viewing now. Now we're talking. So all I've done, as you can see there, I've just put the motherboard down a little bit. I'm not going to tilt this up to show you because the motherboard's going to go all over the place and probably break. So all I'm going to do is put in screws in the places that they line up to on the motherboard. So there's 1. No, we have to go again. There is 2. We've got a top end done. Go right down the bottom end, so we'll line that up from there. Generally speaking, you put it quite close and you can see where it's supposed to go. Paul Helen, did the case come with a power supply? It did, Paul. Big one there. There it is. It certainly did. It's a very cheap one. It's probably not the most amazing power supply in the world, but it's a power supply that's probably going to feed this computer with dirty energy. But it's energy, isn't it? No waste around here. Right. Wish I had no waste. What the heck? Big lad. So, Paul's questions baffle me now. So there is 6. I do need to put 1 more riser screw in. And I will show you after that. You can get this last couple in. Right. This is where on one of my non-live videos, I'll be like scrubbing through and fast forwarding it and you'd be like, oh good. Don't have to watch him mess about with stupid screws. Right. Motherboard down. We now have, don't think you can see that quite, so what I'll do is just get a bit of light in there, and you can see there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we're ready to put the motherboard in ish. We're not though, are we? Because we need the back plate on. So all we do, really quite straightforward, just check which way it goes. I mean, it's pretty obvious because your ports are usually at the bottom, so the edge with the most at the bottom is the bottom edge. We'll just pop that in. Oh, it's a tough one. This is where I cut my wrist or something on the case by accident. But no, mission successful. must say that I wouldn't like to take any of these out and put an expansion card in. They look sharp as. Woo! So you do this, well, people do it different ways. This part you can wire up all the power, everything like that first, and then put it in. But I prefer doing that afterwards, like a lovely jigsaw. So what you do, you push your motherboard in, push it up tight to the edge. Oh, I'm gonna have to get my torch again. I'm gonna have to get like another light, I think, just so you can kind of see what I'm doing. So yeah, just push it down a touch so that it goes close up, and once your screw ports are lined up, you get some of the other screws and put it in. You know what I'm going to use, don't you? You know what I'm going to use? Poundland screwdriver time, innit? Anything little like this, Poundland screwdriver. Look at that, unbelievable. Right, I just need to find the right size screw and thing. You know what I mean? Screw and, what do you call them? Like things that go in the end of screwdrivers. I can't even remember, but yeah. So we'll get some of these in. Do you know what? I'm not going to use a Poundland one. I'm going to use my big Stanley one. Better visually in it on camera. It's like I'm a proper influencer or something. Right, so get the furthest away one in first, I think, and then that's kind of just going to hold it together. And I've completely missed the hole on this. Sorry, this isn't much fun to watch. I could probably do with a third camera, or I need a cameraman, or camera woman, or camera whatever. Just someone to show me putting these screws in. At the moment it's a bit naff. First one in. Go for a second. Nope, not happening. It's fallen. Aha. I picked up the wrong one now. Bit. Thank you, Paul Helen. Paul Helen's just announced that the thing that you put in a screwdriver is called a bit. Of course it is. But later now, think about it. I'm a bit daft, really. Cheers, Paul. So I think Paul's into whey, that's what she said. Oh, who jokes? I think my nephew's watching this, so let's be careful. He won't mind. His dad might, my brother-in-law. Right, I think I'm actually using completely the wrong screws. So I'll just quickly take those out again. It's easy done this, because some motherboards fit with some screws and not others. All depends on the riser screws that you use. This isn't happening, they won't come out now. See, this stuff normally happens when I'm recording my videos, but you don't see it because I edit it all out. So you've no idea. No idea how little I actually know about building computers. Oh. Right, come on. Get these in, start flipping losing viewers here. Watching me mess this up. Right. 3 more to go, kind of. I want to get it in and get it tested, do you know what I mean? Get them beers finished. Right, so I've got the right screws now, so that is good news for all of us. It'll actually work now. Nearly there. We can change them later, you don't need to see it. For now, I'm just going to pop in whatever screws will do the job, and then I'll change the wrong ones later off camera. Most things I do are off camera, I'll just show you the good bits. Right, get in there. Question for Paul Helen actually, how's your PC build going? The one that you're on with at the moment. Well, not literally at the moment, but the one that you're going to be building. it's gonna be a beast if I remember right. But looking at the spec, Paul's a good friend of mine, known him many years. So very very handy that he's on here. So I know what to chat about. So can you use magnetic screwdrivers? Well, that is a good question, is that, Paul? Because back in the day, magnetic stuff used to really make a mess with computer components, for example RAM or storage. But they're magnetically shielded now, so it doesn't really matter. Don't quote me on that though if you're using it with a really expensive bit of kit. But as far as I'm aware, modern components, you can use a magnetic screwdriver. I probably encourage it actually, because otherwise you end up getting stuff stuck in the motherboard. I'm not putting that last screw in because I don't want you to spend half an hour watching me put screws in. So what have we got now? We have got a lovely cheap case with a power supply, with a motherboard and a processor and a fan and some RAM and some rather fast storage. So now what we need to do is connect up all the faffy bits basically. So pretty much self-explanatory all this. Everything on your motherboard does have a guide. Just give us a sec. Just shine the torch in there so you can see what I'm doing. Right. There we go. So this is going to be one-handed. So first thing I would connect with your power. Now you can feed all this stuff in through the case, but I'm not going to bother with this filled. It's cheap. I'm just going to make sure that everything is just out of the way it needs to be. Would help if I was trying to put it in the right way. I'm going to get these in the one way. So there we go. That is connected. So what else do we need to connect? We've not got any storage other than what's on the motherboard. And the power for that comes through the motherboard. The wonders of modern technology. So we have front panel. Oh my goodness. So some really tiny writing down there to get this wired up. So I'll do that shortly, but first we'll get the front USB put on and the audio. So you'll be able to see the front USB port very easily because it's, well, that's the connector, massive. Plug it in there, only goes one way. There we go, that's in. And the rest of them, I'm just going to quickly do off camera because my back hurts and I want to just get this done quick and move on to the next bit. So front audio, goes in there. Somewhere. Again, going to get these in one way. And front USB. Same again. Got a blocked out bit on one side, so you're going to get it in one way. It used to be this simple. You used to have to flipping power up, move stuff around. Awful. There. Front panel. So, joys here. All these flipping tiny little things. These bad boys getting put on the motherboard. In fact, before I do that, time for a sip of the old ale. So I'm doing that, catch up on some of the chat. Whoa, steady on. So Paul, got to wait till Christmas to get his components. That's good. Nice winter hobby there for you. Be proper good when it's done. Got some really good kit coming. Can't remember what you've ordered now, but I remember it was good kit. Oh, flipping out, I need a magnifying glass here. These are tiny. Right, so I can see power LED. Get those wired in. Power switch. That one. Power LED. Sometimes I have to rip these back to give you enough space to actually get them on. Right, power LED. Oh, blimey. We've got negative and positive separate. Why did we do that? That's just stupid. So that's what you get with a cheap case, my friends. Then hard drive LED. Goodness me. Right, found that. And finally, the reset switch. And they're all in just one little block. So why they couldn't all be together, I really don't know. To move some of the wires, as you'll see, they're a bit in the way. So we'll just rearrange them a tad. I'll probably get some cable ties and neaten that up at some point. But there we go. So, what have we got now? We've got everything, really. Which means, well, that means we're going to have to test it, doesn't it? Oh dear. The moment of truth. So, just change the scene again. Mr. One Man Band here. He's everything in this newsroom. Literally everything. So, that is the wonderful PC that we've just built. Let's get that out of the way for you. What we do now, get we had prepared earlier. Which isn't going to reach. It's very typical of me, is this. Got everything sorted. Didn't think I might need an extension lead for the monitor. And it won't quite reach. But you can almost see it there. It's hanging off the table, but you can almost see it. And oh, this is not going well. I don't have a power cable. There's no power cable. Came with the case. Now that is a problem. I will be back in 30 seconds. Here we go. Oh, cheers, Hart. Is it Hart? Harry, sorry. Harry Glanville. Hey, hey. Nice. You were such a help when trying to build my budget PC. Hey, cheers, man. I like hearing success stories about what I do. Really appreciate that. Thank you. So what we're going to have to do here, unfortunately for me, is shift this slightly out of the way. So it's a very short cable. But we'll give it a go. So something else I had prepared earlier, which is, forget it, a keyboard and touchpad and a USB, no, not a USB cable, HDMI. So just put the HDMI in the back of the monitor and the back of the brand new built PC, and we'll get this. Hello, I'm still here, just spinning away. I'm gonna have to unplug my laptop for this. And switch that plug on. Power supply is on. It's got a blue light. Let me get this microphone out of the way. Let me get my beer out of the way. The monitor's not doing it though. What is going on here? Could be switched off. Nope, it was on. Here we go. This is when this is a proper host and we have a problem. Yeah, that's not working. So we're going to find out why. How we're looking. Oh dear. Well, I didn't account for this, did I? Right, it's fine. What I'll do, switch it back up. And we'll put the Windows installation, I said this then, the Windows installation USB stick in. Just wondering if this is the monitor, you know. So got some advice here. Just before I read that, so Paul, how much did the build cost in total, Matt? I think 163 quid, something like that, or 169. We've definitely got a problem here. Powering up, but it's not outputting literally anything. That is unusual. Right, I'm going to try a VGA cable. It may be a setting in the motherboard, so I'll just go and get one. Here we go, folks. Don't worry, we're not giving up yet. VGA cable, gonna try that. Take a look. This was so blatantly going to happen. So fans are spinning. We've got everything working, but there's nothing coming out of it. Oh, you couldn't write this. Right, well, there's no point in trying the same thing over and over again. What we're going to do, just power it down. Just have a quick look. Make sure everything is where it should be. One thing I didn't consider actually is there was no mouse and keyboard input connected, which can actually make a bit of a difference. I'm glad you're all enjoying this. Me completely failing at this. So, good suggestion there from Daniel. Take the memory out, put one back in. So, what I'm going to do, just move the memory from one slot to the other. Ignore my advice I gave you earlier. So everything about this system is working, but it's not giving us a display signal, which is a problem, because you can't use a PC without a display. So the fans are spinning, everything's in the right place, the processor's in, the storage is in, the RAM's in. There's not much that could be wrong with this, to be quite honest with you. This is good. This is really good. I promise you. because we're doing a bit of troubleshooting, which never did anyone any harm. What we'll do, we'll just plug it all back in and see what happens. Right. We've got power. I love it. Fans are spinning, but nobody's home. Just check the input. No input. This is a mystery. We're going to fix this though. We're not giving up. Any other suggestions within the chat? Try it one more time. No, it's not happening, is it? Right, I'll try one more thing, which was HDMI into the monitor. I'm just wondering if I hold the monitor. That wouldn't help, would it? I think Tommy might be right. Need to try with external graphics. So it may be that the motherboard is set by default to use external graphics, which causes me a problem because I can't get into the BIOS to then change it. So what I'm going to do, really quickly get a GPU and put that in. Mega fun time this. I'm glad this has happened because this is fun. So what I'm going to do now, I have got, well, I'm going to get the PC back again. No, you'll never have me doing a live build ever. This happens every time. Right, here we go. So external graphics. This is just a very, very basic graphics card. And it's low profile. That's annoying. Gonna have to remove the bracket just to get it to work. Bit of bonus knowledge here. So if you want to remove the bracket, you just take these, well, you've seen on some of the videos, take the little screws out there, and I think Craig's got the right idea. Try more beer. maybe that's the problem. Right, here we go. Making for some exciting viewing is this, I must say. In that kind of not kind of way. Right, so I've got a graphics card now. That is in the motherboard. What I'm going to do now is just take it back down, give it another go. Once I've got a little adapter that I need. Let's take a look. No. This is on the wrong input. So, what is the problem? This is a big mystery. I was supposed to build this, everything would be good, and we'd be happy with anything. It's not happened. Let's have a look. So we need to do a bit more troubleshooting. Not enough beer, without doubt. So the front I/O, we know that's okay. When I'm pressing the power switch, it is working. So that's all good. We know that it's nothing to do with the graphics card. We put we add a graphics card. Doesn't work still. Storage, I can't see there'd be anything wrong with the storage. So we can try it without. What we'll do, what you can do, you take out your RAM, put that down carefully, and take out your storage. You may get somewhere. You can at least isolate the problem. So I'll just give this a go again. Taking everything out apart from the processor. Let's see what happens. Still powering on. And I'll just change the input. Oh, I'll switch the monitor off. What I plugged in here? I think it's HDMI. Have a look, see what's happening. No. Nothing coming through, nothing at all. So that's without RAM, without storage. We've got the CPU fan is spinning, but nothing. Oh dear. So, no RAM, no storage. Everything seems connected correctly on the front. But why isn't it working? That is the question that we need answering. Do we think it could be the monitor? It could be, couldn't it? Right, I'm just going to disconnect the front USB as well. Literally everything is now disconnected. Just the processor, which I'm just going to take out because, as Tommy has pointed out, it could well be that the CPU needs reseating. So we'll just, I'm going to have to use screwdriver here. I hope you're enjoying this, because I'm not. I was supposed to build it, it was supposed to work, it was supposed to be amazing. But this is the thing, when you build a PC, it's never that straightforward. Always slight problems. Right, so, taking off the fan. Take out the CPU. Everything looks good. Reseat it nice and neat. Okay, confident that that is now seated as neatly as we can possibly get. Just reapply fan. Reapply it. What am I on about? Shove it back in. That's what I meant. So that's in. So it'd be better if I had longer wires, wouldn't it? Certainly be a lot easier. Reseat that. Give it a whirl. We've not even got power now. Why haven't we got power? That would be because the power had come out. Of the motherboard. Right. We have power. Would help if I connected up the monitor to the actual computer. What have we got? Anything coming through? Yep, power to motherboard's okay now. Absolutely nothing. I can't believe it. Right. Just try VJ again. Doing something. Unfortunately, that something isn't showing us the display. Nope, nothing. Could it be the monitor? Normally works. Don't think it is. But what choices have we got now? Something's not right with this. Right. One more time, reseating the CPU. That don't work. Probably done. Ah, that is a really good shout there. So what Tommy said there is, will a laptop work with the monitor? That is a very good question. One that I shall answer right now. So, just plug HDMI in. And what do we got? It's not, it's not got any power. That's what we've got. Take a look. Whoa. I think that was working before I switched it back off. Yeah, look at this. Unbelievable. There's all your chat down there and everything. So we know the monitor works. The motherboard, I think, requires a BIOS update for the processor. or it just quite simply isn't working. So I think I may need to go offline and get this sorted. Do you know what? You know what? I found what the problem is, I think. So, let's roll it back a little bit. So we had someone, it was Tommy actually. Tommy was saying, is the power connected to the motherboard? And I said, yes. Do you know what? It wasn't. Not all of it. We've got the 8-pin connector that hasn't been connected up. So there wasn't sufficient power going to the motherboard. Wow. Can you believe it? Right. Let's get everything back in. So, massively quick now. Get the RAM in. Realise this is probably boring you senseless watching me fail miserably. But we'll get there. I think someone, yes, my girlfriend Claire has said, has your flux capacitor gone? That is a good question. That was probably going to be my next guess. So we've got the storage in, we've got the RAM in. Going a million miles an hour now. Should have been done ages ago, this video. That's in. Front panel, reconnect. And if you've got anything else that's disconnected, we've got front USB. Plug that in. We are all reconnected. And we are ready to try. So I will just unplug that from my laptop. There we go. Have you all still got me? Screen went off then. Tommy's Tech Tips. Tommy, you are a hero, man. You have solved the riddle. Potentially. I'll say potentially because we don't know yet. Right, gonna get everything plugged back in. I can sense victory already. I really can. So, everything on. Everything plugged in. Even USB keyboard going in this time. I have confidence. Confidence in Tommy's wisdom. Okay. Everything's in. Power on. Let's have a look. Oh dear. Oh, switch the monitor off. That's not going to help, is it? Right, it was doing something, and then the fan's powered off. Oh, back on. What's going on there then? Here we go. We've got BIOS. We've done it, lads. We've done it. I am very, very, very impressed with Tommy's advice. Oh, look at this. We've got the Windows installation. Just look at that, man. We've done it. We've done it together. I thank you all so much, especially Tommy, who absolutely nailed it with the advice. Oh, man. What a sense of victory. Woo! Right. I've started sweating now because it didn't quite go to plan. But we got there, thanks to Tommy. Legend. Tommy Tallow, you the man. You are the man. You should have this channel, not me. Should be Tommy Tallow's Tech. So that's it. I'm now going to go and have a few beers. We've got there. We're ready to install Windows. I'm going to do that. The next video might not be live, but it's going to have this build. It's going to be doing something. Games, emulation. I don't know. I don't care now. My new toy's working. And I thank you so much. Right. On that bombshell, I'm going to get gone. I'll see you in the next video. If you've not yet subscribed, then please do so. It normally runs a bit smoother than this. I will concede. See you all later.